What's up, guys? Mikey in the building. Hope you guys had a good trading day today. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I really only tried a couple names. My main focus today was SMXT, EQ, and LOBO. But LOBO and EQ were kind of like day three potentials. SMXT, I definitely love the daily. I like the volume that I was trading going into open, and then how much volume it was trading at open. Couple things on this pre-market control and setup. I'll go over the candlestick chart, and then I got the book right here on the right. I did like this accumulation. You know, when things are starting to trade millions per minute or a milli candlestick, this is 1.2, 1.8. I like that because to me it's a sign of accumulation. And then to see the games afterwards on the book and the control was also great, especially over here, where this is where that accumulation was happening. This is where, to me, the control started when they tried to wash it. To me, this is first structure with volume. At least this wasn't too loose where it kind of ripped with not a lot of volume coming in. And then consolidated. So this to me was the first structure with a pullback, and then we started to retrace where sellers tried to dump it or where there was control, right? If that makes sense. I did like this consolidation. You can obviously see the bid support and the bid stacks that they had on this current order book really well. Going into open, I did not hit this. Unfortunately, I just didn't hit it right away. There wasn't a lot of sellers right here out of the gates. I did want to wait a few minutes to see how I was going to set up, and I was actually grateful to get in on this pullback and catch a 40% return. And I'll go over the top of that book in a second. I did like this because, you know, this is a previous area of interest. This is where we had some trouble right here. So we actually broke out of this and retested this previous area of interest. Again, a seller walked this down, pulled it, came over here, and then buyers came up, absorbed that seller, and continued to actually break out. All right, definitely had to have level 2 up on this one too. There was, you know, the ask and the bids were definitely stacked on both sides, so it's very important. I did like how we had bid follow up on this, and that's for, you know, to me that's good signs for continuation to hold and see how the price action is going to react, right? Over here, this is where it got hairy. You needed to have your level 2 up, and obviously you can see buyers trying right here to break this out at 250, and it failed. There's also like a 1.2 or 1.3 million offer sitting on that. And then you can actually start to see the whole thing started to shift, and then offers started to come in, and then the current order book over here started to get offer heavy, and then we started to sell in the bids, and then a couple book flips right here. So actually you had a good opportunity to get some pretty decent fills up here if you were watching this and seeing it was having trouble breaking out over here, and understanding, you know, daily, right? So we'll go over daily more. I did like this particular daily because it was a big sideways consolidation. If this did provide a little bit more of a weaker open, that would have been great because obviously the return would have been more on that one. But something I was talking to a few people about is understanding when, as a long, when things start to actually break out. Even though there's not a lot of volume being traded over here, you always have to be aware of lower highs coming in. Where can a lower high come in, right? Where can I soak? Where can I apply the book level 2 structure, right? How things are being charted, painted, set up, rigged, pattern wise, right? So I did like this. This was an obvious level. We definitely needed to break out over 2 and then see how far this actually can push and fill. I would have loved that 270 break and for this to actually fill more of a gap up here, but this is an obvious, ceiling where this tried to bounce, failed, and now we're underwater. Retested this area and failed. So this was a nice area to look for, and then when price action started to come up in this area, it was really, really important for me to focus on how it was going to react and to see if buyers were going to try to push this, and instead it got real heavy as it started to pull back and break down. New offers are being added on, and now to me this is just offer heavy than anything, right? Did not try to rotate that at all. So that was my trade. SMXT. The guys in the room saw the average on that one. Decent win for me. Traded that one with decent size, nothing too crazy, but I was able to get a nice return on that one. Um, I I didn't trade Lobo. Kind of went already. I was hoping for like a nice inside bar play, which kind of already started in the morning. So I kind of just stayed away from that. Always be mindful of previous breakdown areas. So as this was retesting these areas, we had to really break out and kind of break out over 121. Right, let me see that day. So we're right here. We tried big double top. Or just a little bit of lower higher here. Fighting the 200s, that's not nice on that one. So if you're trading this, I would like this to set up early, but that happened pre-market. And then of course, all these higher lows become targets, and almost did a double top, just a micro lower high right here. So that was that one. Maybe thought EQ would have followed. There wasn't really any volume on it today, so that's okay. Maybe we'll get a setup tomorrow out of this, or maybe this will just come all the way back down and not trade any volume. I did miss CWD. Couldn't really find an entry, and I didn't chase this. I didn't chase this. It just really up only. Again, this is another daily where you look left. There's really not a lot of volume being traded. Also had a recent RS, so that was really a nice 200 fill. I missed the 1 minute flag right here. I hesitated because as soon as it started, I pull up my FinViz, I pull up dilution, I pull these things up to try to do some DD, and it just went without me, and that's fine. I didn't scalp it. I was so happy with my profits from SMXT. So sometimes you don't need to play everything and have a billion orders. You can size into one thing, get a nice return, and just go carry on your day. Bookwise though, for this one, I'm just going over some of the things that I keep looking for in the book. Say I don't play any of this and looking for like a lower high rotation, right? Because if you miss the move, sometimes you can get lower high rotations, or you're playing midday names or midday structures, where meaning that the thing ripped and now it's pulling back, and we want to see if there's more juice left in its tank to actually get a lower high, right? I mean, if you look at all these, it's just higher lows, lower highs, structures, higher low bullish, lower high bearish. It's just keep it simple. That's what I do. I always pay attention to where sellers really shove down a ticker, right? So when we start to lower high into any of these, I want to see if we can retrace any sellers, right? Sellers pushing it down here, here. Obviously, you can see how there's this front runner on the offer side holding it down, but how does it react when we start to retest these sellers? There's any real bid support? These are some spoofs right here, right? Someone is trying to spoof this up with 27K a few times right there. Was he down there too? No, 13. They added it. They try to get it to break out, and they pulled it, and then it fails, right? And then micro swipes. When things start to micro swipe, this is when I start to get a little weary of how it's going to microswipe break out, right? It's kind of like, it's almost like a retailer just slams it real quick, or someone initiated algo, someone else thinks it looks like a good buy, and you kind of take out a couple orders and it skips, so you get this like quick swipe up, but then it stalls, breaks down, right? Micro swipe, stalls, uh, micro swipes, stalls, right? Micro swipes, stalls, right? And then it looks like it's consolidating, but there's a lot of things to read and understand into these micro swipes over and over, and it happens really quick. If you're paying attention, you'll see it just immediately rip. It looks like it's about to break down, stalls, put some offers in. It does it right here, stall, it breaks down. It does it multiple times. So be wary of that, right? So I definitely utilize the book to see where the micro swipes are coming in, to see how it's trading. Anywhere a seller is in control, because if you see this on the flip side, right, trading for structure and seeing where sellers come in and shove it down, or where there's control, and it can easily see it being reclaimed with buyers. Buyers are interested. You can see right here. There's buyers interested. There's buyers. There's a lot of buyers interested in this, right? Let me just zoom back out. So backside versus front side and first structure, super, super key. I'm looking for areas where sellers shoved it, broke things down. It could be control, shorts getting in, sellers taking profits, an area of interest where sellers shove it down, right? Sellers get absorbed, absorbed. Some absorption, now selling gets exhausted, right? And now this starts to break out, okay? And then we retest these areas, and yeah, you can see where this offer came in, where sellers, but buyers are really in control, and we start to get that breakout, right? Pulls back. This is nice before right open. I like that. I should have really hit this, because this is a really good previous area where a buyer recently was, and previous area of interest. But that's okay, right? Same concept again from down here and then over here, right? Sellers come in, they're shoving it down, shoving it down, shoving it down. An offer is put up right here, and then buyers re-step up to the plate and actually help this stock break out and fill more of its gap on its daily. All right. Couple little things book-wise to go over, daily-wise. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. That was actually SMXT. CWD, same concept though, right? Definitely these nano floats need to get a little faster, and be more aware of just getting in right away and playing the daily, trusting the level 2. And I had the book up too. I just was doing DD, which is fine. But SMXT, again, first structure on this one, right before this actually made its move. And then where we're trading at, like even this consolidation was above these levels on the daily, right? You can see my crosshair, right? So then we started to break out. So even when this pulled back, right here, we're above all that look left consolidation. There's no real liquidity event that happened first. We're not fighting some backside underwater, or bagged daily, as some people say, which is true, right? It's bagged. It's just gonna put in a lower high, right? So now we might see this name maybe break down, break out, and now it has this big day, and now we got to worry about, levels over here, previous VWAP 190s. I always put these levels up, so I don't gotta put them up again later. But yeah. But all right, guys. Much love. Peace out, Mikey. Smash the thumbs up button. Peace out.